Oh, hey guys. Today we're going to talk about supplements. Let's just get this video started, I guess. Oh, hi people. So since I haven't gone to the gym yet, I am going to touch on pre-workouts first, and then I'm going to go to the gym, get a workout in, and then after that I'm going to talk about the other supplements and the ones that you should avoid, the ones that you should take, and the ones that are simply just like a complete waste of your money. So let's get started. So first up, what are pre-workouts and why do you need them? Alright, so pre-workouts are pretty much just some kind of stimulants with a wacky flavor and a little bit of pump product in there, so something to dilate your blood vessels, make you have a bigger pump, and then something like beta-alanine or something to kind of like make you feel something like fire ants. So in terms of pre-workouts, I've been lifting for a while, and back when I used to take pre-workouts, I don't know if any of you are old enough to remember or crazy enough to remember, but there was something called Jack 3D. Now, let me just show you right now. You can't find this anymore for good reason, because apparently if you took this stuff and you took this like version of it, which is from like the early 2010s, it had something like geranium root in here, which had caused like heart attacks and stuff. If you guys don't believe me, let me just open it for you. Don't try to find this, don't look online. It will turn black inside, and also if you do turn it upside down, nothing comes out. So yeah, it was orange, but now it's black. So that should tell you something about what you're putting in your body. Don't take Jack 3D. But anyways, fast forward a couple years now, and we have pre-workouts that are pretty much just way tastier. I take Dymatize right now. This is not a sponsored endorsement, but Dymatize does actually work. I recently bought a pre-workout from another brand that I won't name, and it wasn't as good as this one that they sent me. So a couple things to look out for when you're looking for a pre-workout. Look on the internet, type in clinical dose of the particular ingredients in a pre-workout. So caffeine, beta-alanine, citrulline malate, stuff like that. Look up the clinical dose. If the clinical dose is on the pre-workout you're looking at, get it. Clinical dose is pretty much the minimum amount to actually have an effect on your body, because a lot of pre-workouts are just very, very underdosed on... Shut up. Thank you. A lot of pre-workouts are very underdosed on the actual ingredients, and they don't actually do anything. But Pickering Fitness, I don't want to buy a pre-workout. You can have a simple cup of coffee then. A lot of pre-workouts, people are just looking for the caffeine, and anything like a cup of coffee or an energy drink, that's fine too. For the longest time, I'd say like 4 or 5 years, I'd solely just drinking coffee before a workout because I just didn't want to spend the money on a pre-workout. But that brings me to kind of a segue of this video is, instead of a pre-workout today, we're going to be trying some coffee, but we're going to be trying a different kind of coffee that was given to me through the magic of Instagram. It's going to be, what's this called? It's called Brust, okay? Brust beverage. Let's focus. All right, it's a cold brew coffee with 20 grams of protein. I've never tried this before, but I'm going to try it on the video for you guys. 133 milligrams of caffeine, so maybe like a cup and a half of coffee, so that's pretty much good. And yeah, I'm gonna let you know what I think of this. If you guys are interested, I will send you a link or something. I'm not making any money right now, I'm just letting you guys know what I think of this. So, before we get started, let's do a little B-roll segment. Oh, hi people. Now I know everyone on YouTube is like, yo, I'm the realist. I only keep it real. I'm not gonna say that. If you guys know who I am, you'll know how I am. So you know I'm not probably gonna bullshit you about this. So let's give it a little try. Now, first things first, we're gonna be rating out on a couple factors. First off, how nice it sounds when you open the cap. We're gonna rate it on flavor. We're gonna rate it on potential coffee flavor because I like coffee. We're going to rate it on, what are we gonna rate it on? I don't know. We're gonna rate it on if it tastes like a protein shake, and we're gonna rate it on aftertaste and further down the line on the energy I get from it. Let's give it a whirl. Oh, that's good. Yeah, that's really good. Okay. All right, here we go. I probably should have shaken it. Let's shake it. let's give it a whirl. Let's give it a whirl. Delicious. Yep, yep, yep. Yeah, really good. I'm not sure if I'm thirsty or if it was good. Here it is. If you like things that are not too overpowered, check it out. It's almost as if you made an iced coffee, put half a packet of sweetener in it, put all the ice cubes in it, left it out in the sun till the ice cubes melted, and then you drank that and it was still cold. There is zero protein taste, which is good, I guess. But yeah, it's like, it's watered down in a good way in terms of flavor. So if you're someone who's like, doesn't like an abrasive coffee taste, or doesn't like when stuff's way too sweet, this is not sweet at all. It's a tiny bit sweet, but it's not overpowering. It's good. So, Brewst, in terms of taste, let's go 7 out of 10. 7 or 8 out of 10. 10 would be like more flavor, but there would be a limit to how much flavor you could get in here. Like, you don't want it overpowering. Protein taste is a 10 out of 10. It doesn't taste like protein at all, which is a good thing for drinking a coffee beverage. 130 milligrams of caffeine in like 330 milliliters is good. It's efficient. I like that. And yeah, I like it. Let's see how the workout goes. So now on top of that, I just want to do a little like couple more points on pre-workout. So do you need a pre-workout? Absolutely not. I think if you can go as long as you can without taking a pre-workout, that's best, because a lot of people will rely on pre-workouts, and psychologically, even if it doesn't really affect them that much, not taking it can hinder their workout psychologically. So in terms of the fancy pre-workouts that you get at the supplement shops, do you actually need those? And the answer is no. Most likely there's some kind of caffeine, some kind of pump product, and you don't really need that stuff. All you pretty much need is some kind of caffeine. So just like this right here, it's just a coffee beverage. And you can either, you know, have a coffee, you can have a Monster, have some iced tea. But here's another point I want to make. While I say supplements aren't necessary, if supplements can help you to get to where you need to be, then they're worth the money more than the actual benefit you'll get from them. So what I mean by this is, for like a couple months in 2018, I wasn't really in the mood for the gym. You know, I would like skip my workouts, or I would end early, and I just wasn't in the mood, because I'm a human being. Even though I do fitness, I don't actually always love to do fitness. So I went out and bought a pre-workout, and I just started taking that. And that was actually what kept me focused, strong, and kind of like motivated to keep the workouts going and to finish my workouts. So now, whilst pre-workouts are certainly not necessary for me in this particular occasion, the pre-workouts helped me get over a hard time when I wasn't in the mood to actually work out or keep going to the gym. So use them as a tool, but just know they're not magic. All right, let's finish up the beverage and let's go to the gym. Oh, hey people, just got done with that workout. As you saw, they kind of like came over and they're like, yo, you can't be filming in here, people are complaining. And I guarantee nobody said a word. They were just using that as an excuse to kick me out or to tell me I can't film. Anyways, yeah, after that I was kind of like pissed off. So it was like a weird workout. I was listening to like conspiracy theory rap, like Immortal Technique, and I was like doing weird old school exercises. Felt like an old school workout. And yeah, it was a good workout. So whether or not it was this, you know, pre-workout protein coffee, which isn't even a pre-workout, but just the caffeine, whether it was that or whether it was just like it happened to happen, no bad workout with this. So keep that in mind. Let's go home and talk about other supplements. Oh, hey people, so you just finished your workout. You got home. and you're thinking like, oh no, I need to have my protein shake right now or else I'm gonna lose all my gains. So let's talk about protein shakes. Now, first of all, what I just said was actually a joke. The whole anabolic window thing about if you don't have your protein shake within 30 minutes, that's bullshit. I used to believe that back in the day, so I used to like pack my unflavored protein powder and like mix it with water and just like gulp it down post-workout, or else I thought I was gonna not get any muscles ever. I haven't got any muscles yet, so maybe there's some truth to it, but for everyone else out there, there's no truth to it. Just have your protein shake, I don't know, 4 to 6 hours around your workout, and that's all that matters. Now, I get a lot of questions on Instagram from guys who are like, oh, yo, Pickering Fitness, I wanna get a good body. What protein powder do you recommend? And to be totally honest, instead of that question, the first question you should ask is like, how much protein do I need? Now, the standard answer I give people for how much protein is somewhere around 0.8 to 1.5 grams per pound of your body weight. If you're bulking, somewhere in the lower range, you don't need as much protein when you're bulking as you do when you're cutting, for various reasons, such as keeping yourself full during a cut. Protein is very satiating, as well as preventing loss of muscle mass from getting a little bit more protein when you're cutting. So 0.8 to 1 gram when you're bulking, somewhere from 1 to 1.5 grams when you're cutting. So let's talk about different protein powders. This was the first protein powder I ever took. It's Body Fortress from Walmart. This was in 2010. This protein isn't very good, okay? It was probably like 20 or 30 bucks. It was apparently chocolate. Let's just say it didn't taste great and it didn't mix. But with that being said, all protein powders are pretty similar nowadays. A couple things to keep in mind is just because a protein powder is heavily marketed does not make it the best. In the world we live in, it's all about marketing. So whoever can get their product in front of your eyes is probably going to sell it to you, regardless of it being probably the same product as the rest of the protein powders. Are they magic? Absolutely not. Protein powder, or whey protein more specifically, is pretty much just powdered milk protein. It's not going to make you get more gains than any other kind of protein, whether it comes from whole foods or powdered form. A couple things to look out for when you're choosing a protein powder. First off, find a flavor you like. Okay, most of the ones now have some funky flavors and they actually taste pretty good, not like the old school protein powders. I've actually only ever got my protein from Costco, so this one's actually chocolate. Doesn't taste the greatest, but this is really old, so the ones nowadays are probably much better. Other things to keep in mind are the kind of protein. So if you're a vegan person, there's vegan protein. If you are a gluten-free person, I'm sure there's some kind of gluten-free protein, if that even is a problem. And there's lots of different types of protein. So there's like hemp protein for all you THC fans. Just kidding, it doesn't actually work like that. There is soy protein. Don't ask me about soy, it's skeptical. There is vegan protein and egg protein, pea protein, all sorts of proteins, but we're gonna be covering just whey protein in this video because that's the most common. Next thing to look out for is, in addition to the protein in your protein powder, what else are you getting? So, after I got the chocolate one, I went back to Walmart and I found this one, which is the unflavored one that I talked about. Why do I still have this? I don't know. But I got this one because per 40 gram scoop, there was 36 grams of protein, okay? And for the chocolate one, there was 25 grams. So I was getting like an extra 12 grams of protein, even though the protein powder literally tasted like salt water, okay? It was salty and unflavored and it tasted like other weird things that we're not gonna talk about. Keep in mind, how much protein are you getting per scoop, per the money you're spending. So you can look online, you can like actually Google protein per scoop per dollar, and you can find the best brands in terms of that. Last thing about protein powder, keep in mind, is there any extra added carbs or fats, and how this fits into you tracking your macros. So if you're cutting, you may want to kind of like opt for protein powders that only have protein and maybe like 1 gram of carbs, because fat and carbs make stuff taste better, and keep on the lookout for protein powders that aren't just protein. All right, let's go outside and talk about some more controversial supplements. Well, hi people, we're outside. Let's talk about testosterone and how much of a scam that whole supplement industry is. All right, so here we have 2 products that I have unfortunately bought over the years, been scammed into this, you know, curious, young Pickering Fitness thought these actually worked, and I'm here to save you the money and save you the trouble and save you the disappointment of knowing that test boosters don't do anything. So, one of the common ones, which has a really funky name, is called horny goat weed. The second one is Tribulus torrentis. That one's also a common one that people have been, you know, people have been brainwashed into getting over the years. And to be straight up honest, they don't do anything. Now, I've always had this thought in my head, like, oh, testosterone boosters. If these natural, you know, herbs boost your testosterone by 0.01%, then they can technically market it as a test booster. But let me tell you stuff right now. The amount of testosterone increase you need to have some kind of anabolic effect, so whether it's muscle building or like sex drive or like just overall improvement in yourself, the amount you need to increase your testosterone by is like hundreds of percentages. And if something's doing it by 0.00004%, it's not going to do anything. So save your money on test boosters. If you really want to get some test boosters, go to the doctor and ask for straight up testosterone and inject it into your skin. Actually, don't do that unless you want to, but I'm not condoning that. So Pickering Fitness, how do I increase my testosterone? I've actually made a video on this before, but my whole thinking was like, it isn't so much that you should increase your testosterone, but that you should try to optimize your normal levels. So I think a lot of guys, just living in the world we live in, our levels are not at their optimal range. They're somewhere down here. And things like stress, things like drugs and alcohol, things like poor sleep, all contribute negatively to your overall normal testosterone levels. So if you're looking to kind of get back to an optimal or normal range from down here, my advice is start sleeping more. Try to get enough healthy fats from your diet, because testosterone is created from healthy fats as well as other hormones. Sleep enough, drink enough water. Try to, like, you know, lay off the benders on the weekend, maybe like a drink or two, you know, here or there, but don't go on these huge like just drug and alcohol sprees, because that's going to just plummet your levels down. And then just start resistance training, like exercise in itself, going for a walk, lifting some weights, is all going to help increase your testosterone. Your body's gonna be like, oh shoot, this guy's lifting weights now. We need to increase our testosterone production to like help build muscle. So keep those tips in mind and don't be scammed into these marketing tactics of test boosters. All right, chat soon. Creatine, let's talk about creatine. This is one of the only supplements that has actually been studied on humans, actually has some scientific evidence backing it for why it actually works. Now, see this weird drawing here that says APPP? This is a very terrible drawing of an ATP molecule. Now, what ATP is? It's a adenosine and 3-phosphate molecules. Triphosphate for 3. That's where you get the T from. Now, what does all this mumbo jumbo mean? All right, there's 3 energy systems in your body that perform work, so to say. And the one you're going to be using primarily when you're doing heavy, you know, like weightlifting or sprints or something that's like quick, high bursts of energy, you're going to be using your ATP-CP energy system. So what this means is your body's going to use ATP as the energy source to perform the contraction. So once it does that, one of these P's gets burned away and you end up with ADP for diphosphate, meaning 2 phosphates. So again, what does this all mean? It means your body can't use ADP as an energy source, so it has to go into your creatine phosphate stores, which is in your body. You have a bunch of these P's just by themselves hanging out, and your body goes to those, gets a P, puts it back on here, and then it gets used again. So why does this matter? How does this relate to creatine monohydrate here, the powder I've been taking, the supplement? Well, during your workout, at some point, you're gonna run out of P's that your body can use, and that's when your set's gonna be over. You're gonna not be able to perform any more reps. So what does this mean? If you supplement with extra creatine phosphate from the monohydrate here, you're going to keep your stores, your creatine phosphate stores, saturated. So what does this mean? It means you could get a couple extra reps or maybe 5 more pounds on that lift, which could then multiplicatively lead to more and more progress over time. There's a whole lot of different creatines out there. Creatine hydrochloride, monosorclide, tetrahydrocannabinol, and the simple answer is just get simple creatine monohydrate. When to take it? I'd say take it whenever you're gonna remember to take it. It's also very affordable. If there is one supplement I recommend, just for overall use by females and males, creatine monohydrate. A lot of people say like they're gonna have problems with bloating or liver issues. This is not really a thing. Just drink enough water. People may notice that like they're getting fuller. It's not your muscles getting larger per se. It's not your muscle fibers getting larger. It is your muscles drawing more water out and into your muscle cells. Last but not least, let's talk about the loading phase. That's a common thing on creatine bottles. Now, I've never actually done the loading phase because I did a lot of research and I was thinking like, is there any benefit to this loading phase where you pretty much take like 20 grams every day for a week to saturate or get your creatine stores saturated? And it's actually bullshit. It's pretty much just a like scheme to get you to use the product faster, so you have to buy more. There has been studies showing like loaded versus non-loaded people, and after a certain amount of time, did they have the same saturation level? And the answer was yes. So don't believe the loading phase. 5 grams a day, take it every day, and see some gains. Oh hey guys, welcome back to my room. I just want to cover 2 more simple supplements that I think human beings should take, not just people who are into fitness. Now, this is melatonin. We're not talking about melatonin. Pretend this is fish oil, okay? Melatonin equals fish oil and a multivitamin. Now, these are 2 supplements that I believe everyone should take. Firstly, because nobody eats enough fish. Probably gonna be someone out there, I eat enough fish for Greek fitness. Okay, cool, good job, man. But yes, no one eats enough fish to get enough healthy fats from the fish. So, take a fish oil supplement because that's really gonna benefit you health-wise. I would go over the benefits, but you guys can Google it. It's a long list. It's worth it. It's also very affordable. Next is a multivitamin. Now, I will tell you right now, I don't actually know if multivitamins work, if they're effective, if they're efficient forms of nutrients. But to be totally honest, you're probably not eating enough fruits and vegetables and stuff with micronutrients in it. So there's no harm in taking one. But those are 2 that I would recommend for human beings, fish oil, multivitamin, for optimal bodily health. And if you get fun ones like me, they look like gummies. I love gummies. I'm still 12. All right, and last but not least, I want to talk about BCAAs. Now, this is a pre-workout. We're gonna pretend it's BCAAs because I've never actually bought one in my life. I've only tried samples. And that should kind of tell you how effective they are or how useful I think they are. So what are BCAAs? They're pretty much the building blocks of protein. And you can get them from food, but you can also get them in a powdered form with some funky flavor, just like pre-workouts. So who should take them? You know, are they useful? And to be honest, the people who should actually take them is far less of a population than you think. So they're always marketed as like, take this during your workout to prevent muscle breakdown, and like that's not really a thing unless you're a competitive athlete who is doing multiple training sessions a day. So someone like an Olympic athlete who has just training all day, or someone who is going to have like a couple different bouts of exercise throughout a day may see some benefit from having BCAAs like between their 2 workouts. But with that being said, even though it's not for like the general population as effectively as professional athletes, there are a couple different reasons why I think they could benefit just the average population. So first example is there's some good brands out there that make some like soda flavored BCAAs that I've actually had before, and they're actually pretty good. I've mixed them into soda water or carbonated water, and it tastes pretty much like the actual soda. And to be honest, like as much as I don't really like cheat foods, or I'm not a big food eater with like all this fancy cheat foods, I do like just drinking a whole bunch of like just soda. It's bad for you, but that's what I like to do. And so I found that maybe if you're someone who drinks a lot of soda, why don't you switch to these BCAAs, which taste like soda, as a way to wean yourself off. Not only are you getting way less sugar, way, way less calories from soda, but you might get a little tiny benefit from the BCAAs on your body. So if these BCAAs can help you kind of like avoid worse drinks for you, like high calorie juices or high calorie sodas, then maybe that's a reason to have it. The other potential benefit from them is if you are heavily into a cut, and you're like trying to just like hold on to that last bit of muscle mass as a natural like lifter, and maybe you're like 12 weeks into your cut, you're like just starving for protein, starving for food, then I would suggest like maybe just try some BCAAs, because at that time you're on so little calories that like muscle breakdown is potentially a possibility, just to get that extra energy for your body. So I'd advise maybe have some BCAAs when you're very deep into a cut, and can probably help you. That's pretty much all the supplements I wanted to talk about. Everything else is bullshit. But yeah, let's head back outside and kind of wrap up the video with an explanation of what's good, what's bad, and what to avoid. All right, so to wrap things up, like we talked about in this video, pretty much the only ones I would recommend in terms of supplements are a whey protein, just so you're getting enough protein if it's hard to get protein through whole food sources. Creatine monohydrate, take 5 grams a day, don't worry about the loading phase, and see some gains. Pre-workout or some sort of caffeine if you need it, just to give you that extra boost during your workout. Fish oil and multivitamin, just for everyday life. And BCAAs if you're way deep into a cut, or you are a professional athlete or someone who does multiple training sessions a day. And what to avoid is test boosters. Everything else I didn't mention, leave a comment about it and I will cover that. But as for right now, just remember guys, peace, love, and tranquility.